Hello, Star Wars fans. Hey, did you know there's just 270 days until Christmas 2021? And this morning, we got the Obi-Wan Kenobi casting release from Star Wars. So we'll be talking about who's who in the casting there. And then we've got some other roundabout topics to bring up just to fill in the show, because mostly the casting is unknown. So we'll just have to figure it out. So let's just say hi to everybody. Tyler Axelrod, first one in the comments, nice and early this morning. Good morning. Thanks for joining. And Red Raven 96, giving us some good information. Thanks so much. I appreciate the info on the Eternals, because I've not kept up with the Eternals and just unfamiliar with those castings. And then Wu-Tang Wells, hello, friend. Thanks for being here. Appreciate it. And Gray, oh my goodness. Good to see you as always. Oh my goodness. So Gray's mostly listening because she's running errands. Oh, that means we have to look forward to when she has to comment. She'll be using that voice to text, and that's always an entertaining moment. Santa loves her voice to text. Gray's got the best interpretation out there. Oh, it makes her crazy, but it entertains me. Mike Porter, hello. Hello, Mike. Good to have you here. And Mark Hamilton, thank you, sir, for being here. Mike Hawes, hello. Oh, we've got two mics here already. Look at that. And Mark has given the Discord for our Discord server. If you guys would kindly join us in the Discord chat, we discuss things to talk about on the show, as well as just some great, fun, nerdy content. Mostly Star Wars, but we throw in some MCU and DC love as well. So be sure to join us there. Callisto, thanks for joining. Good to see you again. Thanks for being here. Nikki Nick, hello. Morning, everybody. Hello. Oh, my goodness. And then let's see. I think that covers everybody. Thanks for being here, everybody. And let's Brian Stone, hello. Another fantastic Nerdvana joining us over here. So we got the Obi-Wan Kenobi casting. And so just today's show, we're going to talk about that. And then let me bring up, I just saw that I'm not sharing with you guys, so you can't see what I'm talking about. I've got to share. Just a second. Santa was not paying attention. Oh, my goodness. Here we go. We'll do that. We'll hide that. And then there we go. So we're going to talk about the Obi-Wan Kenobi show. And then we're going to talk about Star Wars Only has been talking about Kathleen Kennedy's successor and who that might be, when it might happen, and possible candidates for that. And so we'll talk about that. And then I think there's another news source that's on my radar for being unreliable. Not sure, but they love leading with the SJW news. Oh my goodness. Abby Kays, hello. Welcome. And so I've seen a couple of things lately, and it's credited to one particular source, but we'll talk about some of that as well. I'm not sure the reliability of it all. So we'll talk a little bit about that. Park Outdoors, hello. Oh yeah, some red meat coming for some folks for sure. Spencer, hello, welcome. And then we'll talk about C-3PO being in Mando 3. So Star Wars Meg posted a video talking a little bit about that, some speculation about that. And then we have more buckets of coal. One more bucket to give today. We'll talk about that and that new segment on the show. We've been doing it now for, we're going on a week, and this will be the third episode where we talk about buckets of coal. And so if you guys haven't been here for one of those before, we'll discuss it today. So I brought up, who do you think these actors will be portraying in the Obi-Wan Kenobi series? And some of them seem somewhat obvious. Let me increase this again. Some of them seem somewhat obvious to me anyway. And I think, of course, Ewan McGregor is Obi-Wan Kenobi. Hayden Christensen, Anakin and or Vader. That's for sure. And it's just great to see him there on that official announcement. Of course, we've gotten some relatively official announcements that Hayden was going to be cast and that he had been cast, but it's just great to see his picture and name there listed. So we're pretty sure of that. And then the next one on the list, I'm unfamiliar with, Moses Ingram. I don't know her work, and so I thought maybe one thing we would do today is just maybe bring up on IMDb and search some of these people. IMDb, Moses Ingram, and then we can talk about who they are, what they've played, and maybe who. Let's bring them up over here. And who Moses could end up being, right? So, so here she is. And let's just go. She's known for The Tragedy of Macbeth, The Queen's Gambit, which was a big hit, big hit for Netflix. Day 74, Candace and Charlie. Let's just go back through her filmography. And first of all, I did see her description. She is an actress and writer known for The Tragedy of Macbeth, The Queen's Gambit, and Day 74. And her full bio here. What's it say about her? Not a whole lot. That's it. See her full bio. No additional information. But we go back and take a look at her filmography. Any guesses who she may be playing? You would assume that listed there she's going to be a regular. But I just don't see a lot of things before 2020. Look at that. 2020. We've got IMDb on the Scene interviews, Made in Hollywood, playing herself in 2020. And then Day 74, 2020. Candace, that's a short in 2018. Queen's Gambit, of course, she played Jolene there, was one of the friends that came in on a recurring role. And then Tragedy of Macbeth and Ambulance, which will be coming out next year. It's post-production. Both of the last two are in post-production. So, and we see that Obi-Wan Kenobi isn't even listed in her IMDb credits yet. So this is a new one. Oh, Mike Hawes. I like where your head is, my friend. Mike Hawes, let's go big. An Inquisitor. Applause to Mike Hawes. I love it. I think that's a great guess. And it would make absolute sense, right? For Obi-Wan Kenobi, you're following the Order 66, and Vader sent out Inquisitors to search down some of these folks. So I think, Mike, you get the thumbs up there. I'm with you. The next one on the list, of course, is Joel Edgerton. Joel played Lars, Uncle Owen Lars, as Josh kind of stumbled over it this morning. But yeah, I think for sure he'll be playing Owen. And then Bonnie Piess, and I saw where Red Raven posted earlier that she had played Aunt Beru. So if that's the case, then we've got Owen and Beru Lars, and then Kumail. Kumail is listed next, and that's the one I think that was in the other series, right? Is that right, Red Raven? I think I got to go back and see what you posted there. Bonnie played episode. Yep. Kumail, yeah. Kumail played in the Eternals. So there they've borrowed him from there. Have no idea what role he will play on a regular. Indira Varma. Now, Indira has been speculated to perhaps be playing Satine in some sort of flashback scene, right? Some sort of dream sequence or flashback. That would be very, very good. The next one, Rupert Friend. Rupert Friend, no clue. Let me know if you guys have any guesses. I posted in Discord as well. So if you have any ideas and like to post it in Discord, please do so. Don't know about Rupert Friend. And then O'Shea Jackson Jr., no idea. Sung Kang, Simone Kessel, no idea. And then Benny, and I have no idea how that's pronounced with the little mark above his name. Let me see if it gets bigger for you guys. Benny and Benny. Anyway, there at the end. Saudi, maybe Sadie. Yeah, I don't know. So Mark noted on Indira. She was in Game of Thrones, and Lucasfilm's been borrowing some folks from Game of Thrones, casting some folks. So it's great to see some well-established actors being brought in, as well as some new faces. Like we talked about Moses. She doesn't have a long resume, but it would be great to see her as an Inquisitor for sure. Absolutely for sure. We could end up with some Imperial officers. Oh, that's a really good idea. And there's going to be a number of these folks who show up as traders and perhaps shop owners inside of Obi-Wan's travels on Tatooine, for sure. So you would expect maybe some of them will be people giving Obi-Wan some information, so we could have some Imperial officers. We could also end up with some rebel spies or double agents, that kind of thing. So I think all those are very, very possible. And I think it's just exciting to see some official news come out regarding the Obi-Wan Kenobi show. We get this casting and at least create some narrative today until we get further down the line. And maybe they'll start to give us the characters they're assigned to. Wouldn't it be great to get that as well? So maybe we'll get that. Let's see. Maybe we're seeing Bad Batch up there. I don't know that we're seeing the Bad Batch in Kenobi. They absolutely could. Wouldn't it be cool to see them come in live action? Our Space 18 members come in and interact with Obi-Wan. The timing's right. Yeah, as far as the timeline goes, that could absolutely be the case. Darth Elvis, hello. Welcome to the show. Good to see you. O'Shea was great and Straight Outta Compton. Oh, there you go. I've not seen Straight Outta Compton. It would be exciting to see that. Kumail keeps with comedians cast in Mando. Oh, very good. O'Shea is an Inquisitor, perhaps, but they can't all be Inquisitors. But you could end up with Moses as a female Inquisitor, and then one of these other folks as a male Inquisitor for sure. Jason, hello again. Oh, good to see you again. I heard a rumor that Satine won't even be in the show. I heard the same thing, Jason. But when you see this is the first time I think we truly got confirmation for sure that Indira Varma is in the show. And then the question is, well, who is she? Satine, she has enough resemblance to Satine, and being part of Obi-Wan's past makes a lot of sense, right? But I also heard that Satine won't be showing up, and I am a little bit hesitant on all of these flashbacks. People keep suggesting, for example, a younger Boba Fett showing up, and Satine showing up, and Maul showing up, and it just one after another, and on a lot of them, they're speculating it'll be in flashback scenes. Well, if that's the case, then all we're getting is flashbacks, in almost every episode, and I'm not sure that would be awesome, right? I just want one live action flashback with those two. I'm with you, Nicky Nick. I don't mind maybe one flashback scene. Maybe he has one dream where a lot of these characters show up, but certainly not every episode be some sort of flashback episode where he's remembering something from the past, which has been a lot of the speculation. Like it's Obi-Wan basically having flashbacks to his younger stuff and then taking a lot of canon and acting it out in live action for us as fans. That's great for fan service, if that's fair enough to say. but it's not great for story development or moving the story forward. I think a lot of us would like to see the story move forward and see what happens with Ben in those years where Obi-Wan, where in those years where he's on Tatooine, watching over a young Luke. And that's something I haven't seen yet either. You would expect that they'll announce a child actor who will play a young Luke, and we'll get some idea of just how old Luke is at the time, because he's supposedly there watching over. Is Luke 3-4 years old? Is he 10-12 years old? What where in the timeline does it fall? And that may be one reason why Lucasfilm hasn't given us that actor. I am certain if you got Owen and you've got Owen and Beru, you got Aunt and Uncle. Where's Luke? He's got to be there somewhere, but we don't have him. So I'm excited to see who they're going to cast there. Mark, KRT, Kessel Run transmissions. We're all in on there being Clone Wars flashbacks with Anakin in his Clone Wars armor. I just don't see every episode being a flashback scene. And we know this is a limited series. It's not like a multi-season deal. This isn't going to have 24 episodes or anything like that, right? We're talking less than 10 episodes. And if each of these are going to be heavily flashback, then where's the story moving as far as, do we need a young Luke if there is no Luke? Right? If it's all flashback to before Luke was born, then maybe you don't need a Luke. I think that would be tremendously disappointing for an Obi-Wan Kenobi series, presumably watching over Luke during those formative years as he's growing up, to have no Luke. I would be very disappointed if they weren't able to cover that timeline. So I'm fine with them, having some flashbacks, but just a handful is plenty. Nikki, in the Kenobi book, he has a lot of dreams that haunt him. Sure, there's some inspiration to be taken from that, but I think I've expressed my concern. If Anakin's in Clone Wars armor in a flashback, live action. You know what? And Park Outdoors, this is another one of those huge fan moments, like, seeing Luke in Mandalorian season 2. Oh, spoiler alert. Oh no, I gave it away. No, I'm just kidding. But anyway, it would be a huge fan service moment. It just needs to be done well and not overdone. These flashback scenes really worries me that we're going to have too many. Darth Ellis, one of my favorite books. One of my favorite books, I've mentioned this before, is I just went to a video game name. It's Master and Apprentice, not Master and Commander. Master and Apprentice, a really good book featuring Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon Jinn. Really good book. Mike Hawes absolutely could see a young Boba Fett being brought to Tatooine out of revenge and continues to hunt for Obi-Wan. Absolutely. I think that's fair. The story is supposedly 10 years after Return of the Sith, or Revenge of the Sith. If that's the case, 10 years after, then we need a 10-year-old Luke Skywalker, and we've got to be careful about the flashbacks, right? They can be short. Well, the Mandalorian ones are really, really short. So much so you got to watch them frame by frame to get all the detail because they pass so quickly. But we could end up with some short flashback scenes. Again, limited them. Don't overplay the flashback scenes. Sheev the Wise, welcome. Good to see you here. And just to show that we have a great diversity of folks here. Not everybody's a sequel fan. In our chat here, Sheev, I know, is not the biggest sequel fan in the world. Mark Hamilton, not the biggest sequel fan in the world, but Santa loves the sequels. So there you go. It's great to have you all here. Appreciate it. Really, really appreciate your support. It's great. Isaac, if Satine was the only on the show, they would have cast Kate Blanchett. I've seen people recommend Kate Blanchett for live action Satine. I think that's great fan casting. And I just can't wait till we start getting some news about who they are playing. And we saw for Mando season 2, some things show up on IMDb. So again, watching some of these actors profiles on IMDb might be very interesting. For example, we mentioned already, Moses doesn't have her Obi-Wan cast on her IMDb credits in pre-production, post-production, nothing. So hopefully we start to see that. And when we see it show up, perhaps they'll list the character there. So they've made those mistakes in the past, my friends. Oh, they could do it again for sure. Gray, I just hope Obi-Wan series is better than Wonder Woman 84. Gray. Oh, that's funny. Throwing a little shade at Wonder Woman 84. Oh, taking the low-hanging fruit, Gray. That's really good. Thank you. Mike, I don't think we'll get much of Luke other than the kid playing off in the distance, or think young Luke being rescued from a desert monster. I think we could end up with young Luke ending up in precarious situations that he's unaware of. So you might have some of the Tuscans kind of in the distance overwatching, and then Obi-Wan coming in. You might end up with Jawas, up to no good, trying to take things, and Obi-Wan intervening. All kinds of different things like that. I would hope we get a little bit of context around what Obi-Wan was doing other than hiding in the cave, waiting for Luke to come find him. Right? Like you would hope, like he was presumably tasked with watching over, right, from a distance, hanging out on Tatooine for a reason, not just hiding there. Presumably he's doing something to overwatch Luke. If Luke just stayed home all the time and didn't get in any trouble, wasn't out doing anything, then what's Obi-Wan got to do other than just sit in the cave? I'm really hoping we see that story expanded on, and we get some really good storylines, right? Let's see. Let's see. Even Katie Sackhoff said that she shares resemblance with Kate, right? And sure. Kate Blanchett's a really good fan cast. I just don't know if they've gotten hold of her, right? For Coachella, good to see you here. Thanks for joining. Thanks for your support. It's all good. I appreciate much. The sequels came out. One, think they were great. Personally love Force Awakens. A lot of people will give some credit to Force Awakens, but then they typically discredit it as being too similar to A New Hope and a soft reboot of the franchise. So, I understand the criticism. That's fine. I just love that we can have friendly, open, and productive conversations without burning any bridges or any hostility. So I appreciate you guys being here. And I think Coachella is not necessarily the biggest fan. I'm not sure, but we know some folks here. Isaac, IMDb got a lot of things wrong. Hugh Jackman, Avengers Endgame, right? It has IMDb is, if people don't know, it's somewhat like Wikipedia, where people can contribute, but it's not just open to the open public to contribute. There's certain people who have access to make those, and they're associated with the production companies. So sometimes those things get wrong. Sheev says, I don't think we'll get a lot of Luke either, but the other actors have me curious. Yeah, maybe so. Gray, trust me, I wanted so bad to love that movie. Watch it again with hope. Wonder Woman 1984. I love Wonder Woman, the first one, but Wonder Woman 84 is fun. It's you get to spend a little time with Wonder Woman in a movie. But as far as like continuing her story or adding to the franchise, it kind of fell flat there, right? It didn't really take us anywhere or help with understanding more about what's going on. We kind of knew what we know, and it really didn't pick up. I don't think anyone can add credits, but I think too many people do. But I could be wrong there, Jumpin' Jamie. Good to see you, by the way. Thanks for being here. My cause, Obi-Wan hiding from the Empire draws attention to the Empire. Imperial, why assisting a stranger leading to Inquisitor tracking down Obi-Wan. Sure. Now, that's a really good speculation, right? The Inquisitor chasing Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan perhaps shielding Luke from the Inquisitors would be a good storyline, but you would still need some shots of Luke Skywalker in there, right? A 10-year-old Luke doing his thing, and then and Obi-Wan really trying to lead the Inquisitors away. So yeah, maybe a couple of Inquisitors chasing Obi-Wan, and we get repeated episodes where he's interacting with them. That could be fantastic. It could drive the story forward. And I don't know if you all saw, but the early script of Obi-Wan that was scrapped and then redone. Apparently, Obi-Wan didn't show up until the very end. It was more of a search for Obi-Wan Kenobi. Kessel Run Transmissions covered this. Like, the whole series was supposed to not have Obi-Wan in it at all. Until the very, very end, he would show up, much like Luke Skywalker did at the end of Mandalorian Season 2. Could you imagine an Obi-Wan Kenobi series, the whole series, where he only shows up in the last episode? Oh, that would not have gone well. And apparently it was Favreau and Kevin Feige, who intervened and said, nope, 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 which will raise us to the next point here in just a moment. Let's get through the chats. Isaac, I put my name on the cast of the Andor series as a producer. Oh, okay, so apparently it is open for anybody. Oh, my goodness. Sheev, do you think we'll see Ben learn how to become one with the Force? Oh, I do think that perhaps we'll see some conversations. I saw something about the voice actors, some news on that indicates that we will have him interacting with Yoda. And got to keep in mind, Yoda's still alive, but they can still communicate through the Force. And so it could be something like that. Rupert Friend in Homeland. Oh, there you go. Then we get Obi on Adventure, in which he's running against time in order not to be discovered. Yeah. Following the idea of the Inquisitors. Absolutely. Yeah. Could we see young Luke going to Tashi Station to get some power converters? Oh, Spencer, we need that for sure. Wait, right? He's got to make his run to Tashi Station from time to time to get some power converters. That was... We need it. We need it so bad. Have you guys seen the video, the picture of Mark Hamill in front of a gas station? It says Tashi Station on it. It says I think it says Tashi on it, not like Tashi Station, but there's a picture of him in front of a gas station named Tashi, which he said, finally, I made it Tashi Station. It was really good. They already took Wonder Woman 84 off of HBO. I'm not sure what Warner Brothers' whole strategy with HBO Max is. It's got so much potential, but it's not quite there. I think they're kind of blowing it. Rumor: Indira could play Asajj Ventress. I saw that too, Isaac. So the other half of that. So a lot of people have speculated Indira is going to be Satine, but then the other side of that, when that kind of got shot down, they're like, oh, well, I heard Satine's not going to be in Obi-Wan Kenobi, so maybe she's playing Asajj Ventress. And Obi-Wan and Asajj had some great dialogue through the Clone Wars animated series. Some of the best scenes in the Clone Wars is between Satine, not Satine. Oh my goodness! Between Obi-Wan and Asajj, that would be really good. I enjoy a lot of the sequels. Some aspects make me super sad. Right. Okay. Good to know. Yeah. Thanks for the information. Varma is Ventress. Anybody is Ventress. Like, I think we're all in favor of seeing Ventress for sure. Super excited. Casting looks promising. Yeah. I think one of the twists in Kenobi is Vader finds out about Luke being on Tatooine. Oh, biding his time, shielding. That's interesting, Mark. That maybe Anakin, but I think that conflicts with what we see in the original trilogy when he learns that, unless he's just acting to learn that Luke exists, that he's a son. But when he first learns that Luke exists, it seems to be a revelation to Vader, not something he already knew. But we'll see. We'll see how that plays out. Isaac, I heard the original script didn't have Obi-Wan. Right. That's what we talked about that. All right. So the next thing here. Movies HBO Max, they're making the movie limited to 31 days. Yeah. I've seen that, and I think what we'll see on HBO is rotations of things coming in and out just to keep the content fresh. But I think that's an old way of thinking. Like when you have HBO and they only can put so many things on in a day, right? They got a 24-hour schedule, and they know that they can have, by extrapolating, let's say they can keep 200 different things active at any given time, right? So just because you can only replay the same thing so many times, right? And I throw 200, that might be high, might be more like 100, right? Things that you can catch various times during the day throughout the month. And then they would throw things off to bring things on so that you could keep the rotation, keep things fresh. Well, with streaming services, it doesn't work that way, right? Streaming services, people can access the content whenever, and they may pick different things. You're not competing with time slots, right? So it's not like you only have a certain limit within a 24 hours that you can broadcast. Streaming service is consumer demanded. So I think they're still locked into an old way of thinking. Could be, Mark. It could be. This is a long shot, but would Bo-Katan or Ahsoka potentially show up? Oh, I think absolutely they could, and I do think it's a long shot. We've not seen any rumors of them showing up, but both of them are alive and well, so it could be. Isaac says, Sheev the Wise, nah. Bo-Katan, not really, but Ahsoka 50%. Yeah, maybe. Anthony Manzano, hey, haven't seen you in a while, friend. Thanks for being here. Oh, good to see you. What about a young Leia? Oh, good. Well, we would have to go visit, and it's possible we could have Obi-Wan go visit Bail Organa and maybe get little scenes of a young Leia. Even less than we would have of Luke, but it would be great to see Obi-Wan visit Bail and just talk about whatever the thing going on, some Inquisitor shaking him down and getting information, and maybe get Leia in the background or something like that. De-age Sebastian Stan to a 10-year-old Luke. Oh, Mark, you're hilarious. You're having fun there. So I want to go on to the next topic, and it's Kathleen Kennedy's successor. And so Star Wars Only has been talking about this lately. And there's a list that he went through involving potential candidates. When she goes, and she will determine when she goes, nobody else. If it's this year, next year, or 3 years from now, whenever, when Kathleen Kennedy leaves Lucasfilm, moves on to her next stage in life, what would she, who would be the logical successor? And I think the number one, there's two people that rise to the very, very top. A third person rises, but I don't think makes sense. So let's talk about the three Fs, should we? The three Fs. The first one I think we can dismiss is Dave Filoni. Everybody says Dave Filoni deserves to have the keys to the car, right? Dave Filoni is the understudy. Dave Filoni is the continuity. He's the preserver of the franchise. Dave Filoni should be running Lucasfilm. Well, you have to understand what the president of Lucasfilm does as their job versus content creators or maybe head of the story group. The story group is more in charge of maintaining that stuff. And I would argue that Dave Filoni should absolutely be head of the Lucasfilm story group 100%, maintaining that what we get in Star Wars content fits within the continuity and lore, make sure that things are done correctly. So I'm 100% with Filoni in the story group, but not as president of Lucasfilm. The president of Lucasfilm has a different job, right? The president of Lucasfilm is getting resources for people, managing budgets, money. They're primarily in charge of those kind of things, contracts and greenlighting projects, allocating funds to different sources. If you go back and watch the first season of the making of the Mandalorian, you see Jon Favreau says Kathleen Kennedy greenlit him to go create the volume, that stagecraft technology. He had all this experience with the live action Lion King, and before that, I think he did the Jungle Book, things like that. And he had met with certain difficulties, learned different things, and had this idea for the stagecraft. And he proposed it to Kathleen Kennedy. She greenlit it. So it's things like that. And do you really want Dave Filoni to be focusing on approving, budgets, or do you want him involved in the story group? And I am with the story group idea, right? And Mark, if you love Dave and Fav's output, leave them to get on with it. You don't want either of them dragged into the corporate mire. I agree. Spencer Eblin. Oh, okay. Kathleen's going to be the emperor of the Lucasfilm. She'll never go away. Oh, I've seen some great thumbnails where she's like in Palpatine's cloak. Very, very funny. Very funny. So, Brian, she has dissolved the Senate. I am the Senate, right? Nothing can stand in her way. You guys are great. That's very funny. So we talk about the other two Fs, right? So we talk about Filoni. I don't think it makes sense to make him head of Lucasfilm, president of Lucasfilm, because again, we've got to remember, a big part of that job is running ILM and other projects outside of Star Wars for sure. Make Dave Filoni the head of the Star Wars story group, 100%. What about Favreau? And what about Kevin Feige? His name keeps coming up, and we keep seeing people list Feige, and then Feige pushing back saying, "Oh, I'm not involved with Star Wars. I don't know a thing that's going over there." First of all, I think that's a lie, but I think he does know what's going on there, as evidenced by what the KRT reported on recently, as far as him intervening in the Obi-Wan story, saying, "No, fam, you can't do that, right? No, fam, you've got to put Obi-Wan in there, right?" So I think Favreau and Feige work really well together. They had through the Marvel years, as Favreau was involved in kind of jump-starting that with Iron Man. And Feige then is still there, of course. Now it comes into, she was saying, no way Feige can run the two biggest movie franchises. No, more than movie franchises, these are IPs, right? They exceed that. They go into the live action stuff, animated stuff, and movies. So could he run the franchise? No, I don't think so. You'd have to cherry pick him. So you'd have one arm of Disney thieving from another arm of Disney, right? So Lucasfilm stealing from Marvel and taking Feige away. So I think that makes Feige less likely. Filoni, we've already put. Feige, I think, has a job, and I think Marvel's going to keep him there. And I don't see, at least in front of me, why Feige should be recruited from one arm of Disney to another arm of Disney. What does Disney have to gain from that, right? The more logical choice for me in the three Fs is Jon Favreau. To me, Favreau is doing a great job with Dave Filoni. And if you're going to raise anybody to that, Favreau, that would be the next career step. It's much like taking a great college football coach and moving them to the NFL. Right? They're a great college football coach. Sometimes they're not so great in the NFL, or moving them as somebody who's played in the NFL into the owner group. It's not necessarily a good fit. So the concerns with raising Favreau is you get him out of the story group, and do you really want him out of the creative process in a president of Lucasfilm position? While he has a great passion, knowledge, respect for the franchise, is that the right job? That's really the question. And I think of the three Fs, Jon Favreau is the one that makes the most sense, at least to me. Maybe he will, maybe he won't. But when Kathleen Kennedy steps away, I could see of them him being the most logical choice. Look, in all reality, it'll probably be none of them. It'll probably be somebody who's more of a bean counter, somebody who's more managing business, more of a like an MBA type, right? A master's of business administration, somebody who's more run corporations, companies, maybe not even somebody who's been a producer or executive producer, but rather somebody who is a corporate manager type. And so more likely that'll be the case. Now, I've seen another name thrown out there, and it's one that let me just get caught up with the comments before I tell you. Star Wars only. If you watch this video, you know one of the names I'll be throwing out. Mark, yeah, Dave had his story group, 100%. Sure. Anthony, Kevin Feige takes over for Alan Horn. Now, Anthony, you might be on something there. No, absolutely, right? Promote him over the whole thing. Great, yeah, it'd be a waste of Filoni's talent. Exactly. Favreau is the logical choice. I agree. Great, of them, that's the best choice. John could do it, yeah, but I don't know if he will. Exactly. He's done a great job with other directors. Mando, you're right, Sheev. That's a really good point. When Favreau was helping some of the other directors as they were coming in to lead, he was helping coach them, helping point them in the right direction, but giving them the freedom. One of the criticisms Feige gets is that he locks down control, and directors don't like it. Favreau might be a better manager than Feige, and he might be a better choice. Yeah, going to be someone else probably. Yeah, I think so. Coachella, Favreau seems to know how to manage work teams. Yes. Technology savvy. Yes. Manage budgets. Yes. Right. He checks the boxes. Good point. So the other name that's kind of thrown out there would be, are you ready for it? You all braced? Don't let the lasers shoot out of your eyes too quickly. Calm yourselves, brace yourselves, get ready. Deep breaths, relaxing breaths. The other name has been J.J. Abrams. Oh, J.J. Abrams is the head of Bad Robot Productions. Bad Robot is a company, is a movie production company, and he's the head of it. Now he's locked into contracts now with WB and running like Superman reboot, things like that. There's been rumored. But if you were to pull J.J. Abrams from Bad Robot, say in 3 or 4 years from now, 5 years from now, if Kathleen stays around, he would be potential. Maybe not fans' choice. Oh my goodness! But he might be. He checks a lot of the boxes as well. So there's another name. And Mark's put the Discord server in there again. If you haven't joined us, I'd encourage you, please check us out over on Discord. Anthony, I think the replacement with Kathleen is probably someone like Quentin Tarantino. The owner of Bad Robot. Yeah. Bad Robots with Warner now, right? Insert Vader's scream. No! You're exactly right. J.J. Abrams would be a huge outcry from the fans. I really don't. I don't think that he will be well received, for sure. At least from fans. Park Outdoors. Wish he would have stayed with Paramount. WB scooped him up. JJ, Sheev, I feel if JJ had all 3 movies and sequels, they would have enjoyed more. Well, yeah, but it probably would have been far more coherent. And when we talk about some of the later news that's come out recently on Ryan and his thoughts about Snoke and why he just was disinterested in Snoke and threw the twist in there of killing him early, just because what Ryan said, he was more interested in seeing Kylo Ren put in a place of leadership ahead of schedule, right? And trying to get his footing and trying to establish himself. He thought that was a far more compelling story to see somebody who's thrown into power try to establish himself and get the respect. You kind of see that set up in The Last Jedi, but that's a shift, right? So again, kind of a hard shift away from what JJ had set up. and then set JJ into rise of moving forward from there, right? Yeah. JJ likes to make fans angry. Yeah. Spencer, don't let JJ near my favorite franchise again. Right. And now he's messing with our second favorite. Spencer, I love Superman. I absolutely adore Superman. And you got to be concerned. I liked JJ's Star Trek movies, and I consider myself a bit of a Trekkie, not a full-blown Trekker, but a bit of a Trekkie. And that would be rough, right? It would be rough to see him move in. Anthony, Santa, can you see a girl like Quinn Tarantino? Oh, a girl. Well, Quentin Tarantino's a dude, a female takeover for Kathleen Kennedy. Very much could be the case. And I know she had picked a predecessor before that was female, but I don't know. Right? You guys are great. I disagree with your take on The Last Jedi, but I understand what you're saying, right? I get it. Lopez, I'm joking. JJ could do it. What I don't like is he has a problem closing the story. You're exactly right. He takes a lot of grief for Lost. Although my wife and I just finished watching another J.J. Abrams show, Fringe. 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 It's available on Amazon with commercials, so you can see it on Amazon Prime with commercials for free. But we just watched all 5 seasons of that over the last month and a half, and really enjoyed Fringe. Now, Fringe is not a show you can spend too much time trying to connect the dots. It's a show you just need to kind of watch and turn off some brain cells. Right? Don't think about it too hard, or it'll make you crazy. But it was really well acted. I love some of the casting in that was tremendous. Really well done, and it's a J.J. Abrams show. So that one came off okay, but great. No JJ. And there she is with the Spock symbol, right? So a lot of Star Trek fans are not happy at all with JJ's reboot of the franchise, and we're happy to see him go. So we had somebody say, I wish he'd stayed at Paramount. Our Star Trek fans are happy to see him leave. And then right now, we have our DC fans worried. Right? They're worried. Absolutely. Is it true to the rumor about JJ making a Superman movie with Michael B. Jordan? I don't know if it's true, but it's heavily rumored. And I could see it happening. So I think that it's one of these cases where the pieces fit together. The question is anybody, assembling the puzzle? That's what we don't know. Great. Star Trek's my favorite franchise ever, and enjoyed JJ's version, but it doesn't hold a candle to all other Star Treks. Yeah. Remember when people thought Spider-Man 4 was happening? There was a countdown. You're right. When JJ and his son made the Spider-Man comic books, a lot of fans were pretty mad about that. That's true. And Isaac, just to be a little bit fair on that, Star Wars had a little bit of that kind of reaction to the whole Project Luminous, right? Project Luminous was always announced to be a print thing, right? Books, comics, a print project. And when it was released finally as the High Republic, and there's no animated series, no live action series, no movies, nothing planned for filming, a lot of people lost their minds. And it was like, whoa, slow your roll, friends. The Project Luminous was never about that. Now, will we end up with some movies, live action? Almost likely, and especially with some of the characters. I think so. Mike, he screwed that series up too. The first 3 seasons were great. I thought they did a nice job, especially Mike, in the last episode. If you're going to wrap up a series, I thought they did that really, really well in the way that they paid homage to the events that led them to there, and a little bit of callback to different things. So I don't want to give it all away because I have to check Fringe out. I don't want to give away too much of the ending, but I really like the way that they close the series out. Spencer, recent news suggests taking a multiverse approach. Hope he doesn't become their main Superman. DC in the multiverse, I do think they're going that route. Absolutely. But the question is, why don't they embrace then the Snyderverse as one of the multiverse concepts and allow more stories to be told in that space? And that's for a different discussion. But I get it. I do get it. Santa. Over under Harrison Dula makes a cameo in season 3 of Mandalorian before Ahsoka comes out. Ooh. Over under. Well, that's a really great question, Anthony. Harrison Dula. I'm going to say a pretty high number. I'm going to say 80%. My over under would be 80% that Harrison Dula shows up. And I'll tell you why. Is because Rangers of the New Republic now is heavily rumored to be Harrison Dula's show. And with the exit of Gina Carano and them needing to kind of revamp that, not being about so much about being focusing on her character and removal of the character entirely from the show, then it makes sense that Harrison Dula would be the central figure of it, the Ghost Crew central figure, and Rangers of the New Republic will be following them, and it would be really, really high. I think the chances are really high of seeing it. So that's my over under. All right. If you guys are going on the high, but Bacasta, welcome. Good to see you here. I love the High Republic. Santa does too. And we're going to talk about the High Republic here in just a moment. I need to get moving forward. Sheev, what are you most excited for in Star Wars going forward? What's on Santa's wish list? Most excited for the Ahsoka series. I love Ahsoka, and I'm anxious to see how they're going to tie the pieces together. All this speculation about the world between worlds and multiverses and this and that, I'm anxious to see Ahsoka play out and see exactly what they do, because up to that, it's opinion and speculation. Santa's own opinion is we're not going to see any multiverse in Star Wars. We're not going to see dual universes. I know that that's already set up and that very well could already be in play. I know that it could be, but I'm giving my opinion, right? And it very well could be or not. And I'm going to side with the not. The map on there is simply a map of Jedi temples, and what was the Ahsoka on the search for Ezra and Thrawn and visiting various temples around the universe, the Star Wars universe. And that'll be what that is. Super Saiyan, hello. How are you holding up? Thanks for asking, Super Saiyan. Today's a great day for Santa. Appreciate it. I had a three-day weekend. It was good. I must be the only guy on Earth that kind of liked how Lost ended. Good to know. We're not alone on the island. I thought it was fine. I didn't think it was the greatest in the world, but I also don't think it was a big dumpster fire. A lot of people want to say it is. Right? Good stuff. Let's see. Give me live action Hera. Yeah. Fringe is one of my favorite shows ever. Oh, Gray. Again, coming on strong. Gray and I, we are so similar. It's scary. And I love her. Gray and I share a lot in common. And I cannot wait for the day when we can sit down and really just talk about our lives and spend some time talking to one another. I love her deeply. One of my favorite people in the world. I love you, Gray. Thanks so much for being here. I really appreciate your support. A suit at Lucasfilm, executive president, right? Probably type of unknown who get the position. I agree with you, Mark. Probably so. But if we're going to speculate, let's speculate on folks we know. Chopper, yeah, we know we did get a brief cameo of Chopper before in live action. It'd be great to see him in there. Spencer's got to bounce. Appreciate it. Santa, can you explain to me the difference between the Old Republic and High Republic? Uh, um, and the New Republic. Okay. Old Republic is primarily Legends material. In fact, it may be 100% Legends material. There might be some references to the Old Republic in canon now, but a lot of the Old Republic is based on a video game series of the same name. So you've got the Old Republic and the stories that revolved around that. And then there were some books and things put in that era, and they feature some fantastic characters that are beloved. A lot of folks that really love the characters. They enjoyed playing the characters, reading about the characters, and really got deep into that lore. I don't want to go too far down that rabbit hole, because there's a couple other topics I want to bring up. But that's the Old Republic. The High Republic is now Old Republic primarily Legends, right? Non-canon now. High Republic happens a couple hundred years after that, so it's more recent. Old Republic, as its name implies, happened a long time ago. Well, we know that Star Wars is a long time ago, right? A long time ago. Old Republic, long time ago. But then High Republic happens after that, and it is canon, and it's a time that happened before the prequel series, when the Jedi Knights were strong, the Republic was strong, everything was good, and there was mainly peace and unity in the galaxy. There were dust-ups here and there, but it was the height of its strength. So the High Republic, as its name entails, is the height of the Republic as a whole, and the Jedi Knights. And then what did you say? The New Republic. First, you got to get past. So you get through the prequel trilogy. The Republic collapses, right? Palpatine says, "I am the Senate," right? So Palpatine collapses the Republic as a whole, and you end up with the rebellion versus the Empire, right? And in the prequels, we get that the first galactic empire when he's there in the Senate. So at that time, during the prequels, the Republic ceased to exist, and now we have the Empire. And then you get the rebels that fought through like the original trilogy. Following that, then when the Empire was defeated, when Palpatine was defeated at the end of Return of the Jedi, there was a new Republic formed, and that was people like Mon Mothma who set that up, and Leia was involved, but she was never elected because her dad was Vader and all of that, and people weren't keen on having Vader's daughter in power, so they wouldn't let her. But anyhow, that's the New Republic. The New Republic happened after the original trilogy, and at the beginning of The Force Awakens, you see where the New Republic is destroyed by the First Order, by that planet killer, right? So they shoot out through space, and they completely obliterate the New Republic, and it's gone. So that's all of that. Star Wars Theory wants to release a Lucas trilogy. I know. We got to go. Probably canon Legends labeling Disney Plus. Oh, yeah. There's rumors that maybe Disney Plus will put a Legends channel on there. So we'll have Star Wars Legends and Star Wars canon. That would be great. Yeah, I talked about it last week. I got to get caught up. I am way behind. Super Saiyan. Yeah. Well, good thing we don't have Ryan here to cause a dust up with Super Saiyan. Super Saiyan gets along just fine here. We do fine. I haven't had to dust up with him yet. High Republic has really been missing the mark. The new novel comes out soon. Hoping to bring things together. Into the Dark, so good, bad at the same time. Mike, we'll be talking about Into the Dark very soon. I've been struggling to get through it, my second read, but I will say that I've just had other things going on. It's not because the book's bad. It's just that I've had other things going on, and so I'm delayed on that. But it's off to a decent start, and as far as published material goes, it seems to be performing to what their expectations were at Lucasfilm, but we'll talk more about that in just a moment. Yeah, how many Republics do we need? I saw somebody say, please, for the love of God, after the sequel trilogy, no more Republics. come up with something else. We don't need the new, revised and improved Republic after the sequel trilogy. Something different. Come up with something other than a republic. I love democracy. Well, it's great, except we've had a lot of them and it didn't work. Give me all the republics. Oh, that's great. The Outer Rim campaign. Sun Bear Logic, welcome. Good to see you. Lord Vito, hey, just stopping by to say hi. Thank you so much, Lord Vito. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Thanks so much. Let's get caught up. Into the Dark. Loved the Jedi and the character development. Tease throughout was great. Plant People in the Rocks did do the, Mike, I'm going to talk about this more when we go into the deep discussion. Yeah, the love is mutual. I know, Gray. Thank you so much. Let's see if I'm caught up. Bob, why am I late? I don't know, Bob, but you're our uncle, so we'll take it. First couple of High Republic comics aren't bad. Lycan Skier, the Transocean Jedi. Yeah, that's good. New Galactic Order. Or how about Parliament? The first Galactic Parliament. How about that? We could have that. The parliaments are very popular in the world today. We can move away from a republic to a parliamentary government. How about that? Running back and forth Trinity. Oh my goodness. I know Trinity and Santa should stream together. I would love to talk to Trinity sometime live. We just have to find the right emergence, right? Where we converge. Right convergence. Don't put me on the naughty list. Oh, you're not on the naughty list, Bob. We appreciate you being here. I want to jump next to this. The next thing is this SJW casting. It's been on my mind because I've seen a couple of articles come across, and I want to get your all's opinion about this. I'm seeing another news source show up regularly that seems focused on these things, and I'm not sure their credibility. So you guys let me know what you think. Giant Freaking Robot. I talked about them once before, but I've got two articles from Giant Freaking Robot right now that are quoting Daniel Rickman. Now, for those that don't know, I went ahead and joined Daniel Rickman's Discord server behind the paywall, his Patreon group behind the paywall, and there's certain rules for being there. And part of it is, you don't just copy things over. You don't release stuff that's shared there, as a member. So, I'm careful about what to share. But I can say that I've been in Daniel Rickman's behind the paywall now for a couple of weeks. It's a neat place to be. They've got some good stuff going on there, including a good amount of sequel trilogy bashing and hate going on there too. But here's my question: is how reliable are they? And I've got two. The Star Wars, the Monarchy. But they're quoting Daniel Rickman. So this first article here is about Pedro Pascal wanting the Mandalorian to make a diversity change, make a change for diversity, and specifically, and I have seen this. Pedro Pascal has said that he would like to see an LGBTQ character brought into the Mandalorian. He's pushing for them to cast somebody of LGBTQ. He's put in a more prominent role. I did not see that on Daniel Rickman's site, but I've seen it quoted extensively. So I don't know about Giant Freaking Robot as far as this goes, but an LGBTQ actress appearing in a more prominent role. So there's part one. The second part here is, again, Giant Freaking Robot. All future Star Wars projects required to have a woman or person of color as lead. Now, this seems ludicrous to me. How could every single one have a woman of color as lead? Every project. That seems, well, first of all, it's not true. Secondly, I could see them maybe wanting, specifically to find one. But then I also saw where they wanted to cast a woman of color as the lead to the next trilogy that they launch, whenever that is. That's primarily in their head. Now, as far as this goes, and I don't want to focus on it too much because I'm not a SJW baiter here, right? I'm not going to get into the discussion. I have my own personal beliefs and things, but as long as the story is good, the characters are well developed, and the plot moves along, I'm a happy boy. I really don't care so much about if somebody's LGBTQ plus. I don't care if if they're transgender or not. I don't care if they're a woman of color. None of it matters to me at all. In fact, I'm a huge fan of Rey and the sequel trilogy. So to me, that's not a problem. And Ahsoka is my favorite character of all in all of Star Wars. So I don't mind that. But to be leading with these kind of headers makes me really worry about this as a source. So everybody knows we got this covered is clickbait nonsense, and their accuracy is none. Giant freaking robot, I'm not so familiar with, but they're trending towards clickbait to me. So this leads us into our some other discussions, but I just wanted to throw that out there for you guys. And I do think that the world we live in, we can expect that these are the things that are going to happen. Look at what we get on television series, streaming series, throughout everything, all the content that we consume, we see a lot more, right? So whether we see an LGBTQ plus character in The Mandalorian is not of real concern to me, but I know it is to some people. And to see this kind of stuff in Star Wars makes them crazy. I don't want to see a character for character's sake, right? An LGBTQ plus put in there just to have one, but rather if you've got a strong character and it can be an LGBT, I really don't care. Like Sheev says, give me good stories. Yeah, good stories, good characters. I think that's the other one. Good stories, good characters. And I really don't care about their gender or gender identity. It doesn't matter to me. Or race, for that matter. I don't want to go down this, but I tend to agree with you, Jason. Mike, cast whomever you want. Just let them be in a great role. Right, exactly. You guys are there. Mark, maybe we got this covered, little brother. They're on my radar. And so I just thought I'd bring it up. So if you guys see giant freaking robot and you find anything, but let me know if they're legit or if they're a garbage site. I don't know enough yet to know. And I saw a comment about Pedro being too woke. You got to expect it, right? You could say Mark Hamill is too woke for that matter. It doesn't really matter, does it? As long as they've got a good character and they play it well. It doesn't really matter what they believe in their personal life. I feel that way about Gina as well. Personally, I don't think she was the best actress in the world. But at the same time, I think she kind of carved her own path. So leave it there. As far as the good at their job, if they're good actors, writers, whatever, I don't care. Right? Exactly. Yeah, I'm with you 100%. I'm concerned they might cast the voice actor for Sabine as live action Sabine. I have a crush on Sabine. Don't want it ruined. Very good. The giant robot deserves coal from what I'm hearing. I'm not sure, Sheev. They're certainly on the watch list for sure. Interspecies relationship. There's some of that. All right. If you worry about interspecies relationships, I'm worried for you. Yeah. Gray, I don't think there's any way they're going to cast voice actor Sabine for live action Sabine. I don't either, but it's a good point. So that's all I want to talk about with the SJW casting. I'm not an SJW clickbaiter here. Tyler Axelrod, hey, you're here again. Good to see you. It's the same gender really wouldn't be a thing. Yeah. Not really concerned. The next, C-3PO. Will he show up in Mando season 3? We did get the cameo of R2-D2 in season 2. And what raises this up is today, I believe, and Star Wars Meg did a video. Today, Anthony Daniels celebrates his 40th anniversary, the first time donning the outfit. Now, it's not been that long since A New Hope, but you got to remember they started filming and trials and stuff like that way before the movie came out. So Anthony Daniels, I think today is the day, or at least sometime this year, that he first put on the costume, and he also said that he is involved in some future works around portraying C-3PO. Now, of course, there's the Droids series that's coming, and we would presume that that might be the project. But then there's a little bit of speculation. Again, speculate reasonably, responsibly, my friends. Don't let the speculation get you in a place where you get butthurt if you don't get what you want. But could we get C-3PO in season 3 of Mando? I think it'll be good. I think Mark says, I reckon odds are good, especially as expressed an interest. I think he has, and I think that the odds are good. So maybe so. So that's a fun speculation. Might we get him in season 3, and in what context? Right? How does so we got Luke Skywalker and R2D2? That makes sense. Who would C-3PO be showing up with in Mando season 3? Who is C-3PO with? There's somebody I know, right? Leia. C-3PO and Leia were together when we first saw them again. Where is he now? Is he with Leia? Would they dare bring in a live action Leia? We had Luke in season 2. What about Leia in season 3? And if they did, then we could get C-3PO with that. Absolutely. So there you go. Yeah, it's eager to talk about Gina. You know, there's things to talk about there for sure. Yeah, there's all kinds of nuance there that people like to just throw. But yeah, and Lando being pansexual, I know Billy D's like, I don't see the point, and I see people kind of pushing back. It's about representation, and it's about the whole SJW movement, and I'm not in that crowd. I am not about representation for representation sake. I'm not looking for bald, fat, white guys in Star Wars. I don't look for somebody that looks like me. And when I was younger, I was had a little bit of hair and still a white, fat guy. There's not a lot of white, fat guys in Star Wars. So, you know, I don't look for a representation, but I'm a white guy, so maybe that's it. Maybe it's my white privilege showing through. I don't know. Oh my goodness, people! It's just not something that. Yeah. Conversation took a weird turn. Yeah, we're gonna get back. We're gonna get back on topic here, Gray. So C-3PO could he show up with Princess Leia? I think so, and I think that would be fun. The next part, and I do want to talk about is our personality representation. Yeah, I want to talk about the last of the buckets of coal. So we have a new segment we've been doing on the show, buckets of coal, and that goes for false information that's being spread as truth. And the example we've given is one of the 5 buckets of coal. We have a scale one bucket to 5. 1 being on the low side, 5 being complete false. So a 5 bucket would be the Victor Von Doomcock's news that there was a George Lucas cut of Rise of Skywalker, that it was done and was screened for audiences, and they loved it. 5 buckets of coal. It didn't exist. Would never exist, right? He simply wasn't directing scenes and putting together a George Lucas cut of the movie. It's complete false. So that's an example of 5. And I'm looking to get a little intro to this segment that we'll do as a recurring spot. And I stole the from Buckets of Blood from the High Republic as a character. I took Buckets of Coal because it fits with Santa. So. If I can get a little 3 to 5 second intro that features buckets of coal, we'll absolutely put that as the intro to this segment. And that's what I want to. Oh, look who's here! Reimagining Star Wars, a magic maker. Doomcock is never wrong. Well, you would find out that his army out there will absolutely say that's the fact. They will. Landon Dubs, hey, good day to you too, sir. Thanks for coming. What are you guys going back to? Droids. Yeah, droids. He could show up with Alden in Han Solo, with C-3PO. Perhaps so. So today we're going to talk a little bit about Oh, there we go. Confirmed. A magic maker is Doomcock. Okay. We've never seen his face, have we? Isn't George's favorite Clone Wars episode the one with droids? Yes, they are. It is. And that just shows where that is. Burp the Nerd, hello. Welcome. Thanks for being here. So our buckets of coal today. Amari, the prodigy, hello. Thanks for joining. The buckets of coal today go to the narrative out there that says the High Republic sales are really bad, that nobody is reading the High Republic and the High Republic is not being well received. The source of this seems to come from the little High Republic shorts that they do on StarWars.com and Star Wars' YouTube channel. They do these little character intros, and they're getting downvoted to like crazy. The ratio, they're getting ratioed really bad, like 10,000 to 1. It's like 1,000 likes, 10,000 dislikes kind of ratio. It's really, really bad. So people are saying, well, nobody likes High Republic. But I would counter to say, well, if you read through those comments, it's all about Gina Carano. And it's people expressing their frustration with what happened to Gina. And we're not here to, take shots at it. I'm just trying to focus in on High Republic sales. And we know that the High Republic, and here's our Discord server. If you'd like to continue the discussion there, please encourage you to join, and we'll be happy to have you and to talk more Star Wars there. But just wanted to talk about High Republic sales a little bit. We know that all the books have hit #1 on the New York Times bestseller in their category. Now, fair enough that those are sometimes used as marketing strategies. So they throw a bunch of marketing money in there to ensure that that's going to be #1. So they can put it on banners. And then this kind of primes the pump, if you will, right? So you prime the pump by throwing money in, you buy a bunch of your own books, and you shoot it to the top of the New York Times bestseller list. And then you hope that prime then carries it forward, and you make back your money and then some, right? So I think that the New York Times bestseller list is not necessarily the end all and be all of sales numbers, but it is an indicator, right? It is an indicator. Also, it showed up on Amazon.com's #1 sellers the week of their release. So Amazon was strong in sales as well. So we can track those kind of things. It's really hard to get your hands on numbers. The last piece of evidence that I'll bring up, and I got to give some credit to Mark Hamilton for this, is the comic book runs are in their 4th print, some of them. So reprints are an indicator of sales to projections. Now, let's say that somebody says, well, we don't expect high sales, so we're only going to order 1,000 of these things. And sales come in really strong, and you say, we're going to have to go up to a higher estimate. And so maybe they bump that up to 1,500. And they say, okay, well, 1,500. Well, then they blow past that number, and they're like, we better go to a 3rd print, 4th print. And so maybe by the 4th print, you still only have 5,000. Who knows, right? We don't have precise numbers. Now, I'm not suggesting that they only sold 5,000. They certainly sold a lot more than that. By going to a 3rd and 4th print shows that whatever their estimate of sales were, right, whatever their projections were met and then exceeded. So for the comic book sales, we are well past their projections. I would say that like a first print might be conservative, right? Say, well, we're only going to print 75, 80% of the projected number. When they see that sales are strong, maybe they bump it up to 100 or 120%. By the time your 3rd and 4th print, you've blown past those projections. So High Republic sales of the comic book runs anyway are in their 4th print, which shows that the sales are well in excess of their projections. Is that still really strong? Well, I can't say. And we know that comic book hard print sales are down across the board, right? DC, Marvel, all of them are down hard print covers. So who knows? But being in a fourth print does show that there are some demand. So my point about the High Republic is that it seems to be at or better than their projections. So whatever Lucasfilm projected for those sales, they seem to be performing really well. Does that mean that they're being consumed by everybody? I absolutely would say not. Even back in the heyday of the old EU content, book sales are always low, always low. There's just not as many people read books as watch movies. Not as people read books as they do streaming shows or television shows, right? Comic books and novels are way low as far as a percentage goes. If you're going to gauge the sales based off of the whole fandom, of course they're a small percentage, right? It's a sliver of the fandom. But within their own projections, internal projections, everything would seem to be at or above those projections. So I would say that as far as the buckets of blood on that narrative, that it is at least a 2-bucket fallacy, right? The narrative being that sales are anemic and nobody cares. I think that's a false narrative being spread to raise a different agenda, and it's certainly not representative of what expectations or sales projections were, or even what it seems like the sales figures are. So just get caught up on some of the comments. I saw some really good ones in there, so I want to get back to that. Bought the first book, still reading the Canon Thrawn trilogy. Oh, the Canon Thrawn trilogy is really good. I really like it, and it really puts in perspective a kind of a different flavor of Grand Admiral Thrawn as really a Sherlock Holmes. That's what he is. Would I be good MCU? I'm starting a campaign. Oh, okay. I don't know. I've read the High Republic. Not my favorite. They're not my favorite either, Tyler. But they're not my least favorite. I think they're right there in a sweet spot. It's a nice content to have in between movies and other releases, and I've enjoyed them. They're good. Not my favorite, but they're good. That's my own take. Why do you think a lot of content creators are against the High Republic? I think it's because it fits their other narrative about Lucasfilm being in decline, Star Wars being dead, and because they can take something out of context. Like I mentioned, book sales are always a small sliver of the fandom as a whole, and they can say, look, nobody's interested in the High Republic because it's only a small sliver of the fandom as a whole. That fits their narrative, and for them to be still claiming for Kathleen Kennedy's head and that Star Wars is dead and that we need new blood there. So I think that's why. A Magic Maker book sales are kind of sketchy. Yeah, and yeah, we talked about that. Amazon is a decent indicator. I agree, Mark. I think that's not going to contribute to the New York Times bestseller, but it is a really good one. Amazon's known for being gamed. Oh, it is certainly, as far as like reviews, there's some reviews out there that where it is being gamed. I don't know about the sales so much, right? Because you have to plunk down the money. And I don't know how many businesses are using that, but it's still part of the same thing. Gray's got to go. Good. Thanks for being here, Gray. Jason, I enjoyed the Thrawn trilogy. Yeah, me too. We don't know what the print runs were either. Right. That's exactly right. Yeah. Right. A Magic Maker. The runs were low. Well, yeah. But so if you're only projecting, say, 10,000 sales, right? 10,000 is pretty low. It's really, really low. And let's say you projected your first print at 80% of 10,000. So you only ran 8,000 and you blew past that. And so then you bump it to 120%. So you go up to 12,000 and then you blow past that. Well, it's very well could be that you're still not at 50,000, but the sales have exceeded forecast. And that's my only point is that the sales figures seem to be beyond their forecast, which would be a success, right? If I forecast 10,000 and I blow past it, go to 20,000, that far exceeds my forecast, right? I've doubled my forecast. That's great news, but it's not necessarily not necessarily, the bulk of the fandom consuming it either. Am I the oldest person in the chat? Jason, I'm not sure. Reimagining Star Wars, the Magic Maker is not a young dude, but Mike Porter is probably the oldest person in the chat. He's Santa's age. He's older than Santa. So unless you're older than Santa, I'm 53. Unless you're older than Santa, then you're not the oldest. Bert the Nerd. Hey everybody. Good. Tyler, it was super hard for me to get the physical comics according to my local comic shop. Well, that's another thing, Tyler, is you can kind of look at the availability of items and get some indicator as well. Again, not necessarily the best indicators, but all of it fits together, right? They have many more copies of Vader in regular Star Wars run. So what Tyler's saying is that let's say that Vader, they ran 50,000 right off the bat, but High Republic, they ran 10,000 off the bat. And even though they blow past, and again, I'm making these numbers up. I don't have anything to support, what the actual number was, but I do could say that it's passed, right? A Magic Maker says I can go with 2 buckets just because we don't know true numbers. Right. Some good concepts. Not too happy with some of the things they introduced. I'm sort of wishy-washy on that too. I think it's decent. Mark agrees. 2 buckets, good call. Oh, very good. We're kind of in agreement. Mike, not a content creator. The High Republic's rightful gripes against it. Yeah, we'll talk more about it. And just because it has Star Wars doesn't mean it has to pass on sloppy writing. Hype plays into expectations. Yeah. I know that Claudia Gray is getting some criticism on Into the Dark, and I know why. We'll talk about it when we go into the deep review of Into the Dark. But you have to give Claudia Gray props for what she has given us. And maybe this isn't her best book in Star Wars, but she's also not some sort of hack writer either. You have to kind of consider who she is, what she's done, and kind of couch a little bit of the narratives against what we know of Claudia, and realize that some of the narrative is because it fits into a larger kind of picture that some of these content creators are painting. All right. Reefer Man Reviews. Oh, good to see you here. Yeah, Mike Porter, 57. You're just a kid. You are not. A Magic Maker. You're not. Maybe in comparison to Mike Porter, but Mike Porter is older than Santa Claus. So what are you going to take? Mark Hamilton. Yeah, like the toys are selling out fast. Because they're being conservative on the runs, right? And I've been vocal about some of my criticisms of Hasbro, mentioning toys. Mark Hamilton, thank you so much. Santa's got another box here from Dorkside Toys. We're going to open it. There's 2 figures in here. We're going to talk about that later in the week. And Santa has another package coming that will get covered at some other point. Yeah, her other books are awesome. Exactly. Was Master and Apprentice, Claudia? I want to think that it is, but let's see. Star Wars, Master and Apprentice. That is by Claudia Gray. It is, and it's my very favorite book in all of anything I've read, including some of the Legends stuff. Master and Apprentice, far and away my very favorite. And so, do I think Into the Dark is at the same level as Master and Apprentice? Certainly not. Oh, certainly not. But I don't think that it's trash either. Re-listening to it now. Oh, very good, Tyler. Very good. So, going to be next read probably. That Sheev, I cannot recommend Master and Apprentice strongly enough. It is a really strong book, really good. Highly recommend it. It's my like I said, it's my very, very favorite. So today, Mike Porter's older than the dirt on Tatooine. And sand, it gets everywhere. Like Mike Porter, he's everywhere. He's here. He's on the Den of Nerds. He's on Trinity Stream. Anywhere you go within the Den of Nerds, Mike Porter's there. He's rough. He's coarse. He gets everywhere. but we all love Mike. It's not like Anakin, he hates sand. We love Mike Porter in the den, and he's welcome. Oh, that's good stuff. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and call it a day. We've been on here for 90 minutes, going really long today, but I had a fun time talking to you all. And I hope you have a great day. And when more Star Wars news comes out, we'll come on another stream. And later, I am Mike Sand. Yeah, there you go. We'll get in and we'll have another discussion. We know every Thursday, a Magic Maker and I come together. And we talk about Star Wars, and we get 2 different takes of it. And as soon as I finish into my second reading, Into the Dark, we're going to get some of our friends here together, and we'll have a deep dive into the dark and talk about what could have been and what should have been and what was, and go into that. So if you've not read it and you want spoilers, come on in and we'll tell you about it. If you have read it and you'd like to discuss it, come on in and we'll tell you about it. And if you've not read it and you don't want spoilers, then wait. Then wait. But otherwise, I hope you all have a wonderful, blessed day today. And it's been great to visit with you. And until next time, my friends, Merry Christmas. Bye-bye, everybody.